you cannot be so disturbed by it
Yeah.
that you cannot, because you're so disgusted with yourself.
I think it's misrepresented OCD often. No, I don't think. I know it's misrepresented
It is.
in a really bad way, and it's
Yes.
presented as though it is the cleaning thing is the classic.
Yes.
That and in fact, I did it this morning with a friend. I was going out with a friend. I have slight rituals like everybody does about leaving
Yeah.
the place where I need to check I've locked the door and
Oh,
stuff like
yes.
that. It's not OCD, but I call it OCD with my friend.
Right.
I've got
Yeah.
a little bit of OCD. I'm just gonna but that's
Right.
not what OCD is, and people
No.
don't understand it. And
Right.
also, I don't know if you've come across this yet, but the current thinking about OCD is that it's better to understand it more like a psychotic illness than it
Mhm.
is anything else because of these thoughts. Now, people imagine OCD is like having a thought, and you're sort of telling yourself, I'm just having a thought. That's not what happens.
Right.
You see something, you experience something in your mind, and you cannot see that it's not real.
Well, yes. Or you cannot be so disturbed by it
Yeah.
that you cannot, because you're so disgusted with yourself,
Yeah.
that that's the real part to you. The real part is like, how disgusting that I could have this thought.
Right.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking about in terms of, we'll come to the Harm OCD in just a second, but in general, when I think in that OCD is more like this, it's more like, so taking the example of a door that's been left open, which is, I'll take my
Yeah.
example. I know in my mind that I didn't leave the door open, that it is
Right.
locked, that
Right.
I'm engaging what's called reassurance behavior. I'm reassuring myself.
Right.
I then go and check the door and I've reassured myself, and that's all I need to do
Yeah.
because it confirms that what I already knew. If I've got
Right.
a compulsion to it, checking the door doesn't help at
Mm-mm.
all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
It
to
doesn't.
me, the door is still open, even with the thing that's
Yeah.
going on. The belief is so strong. That's the point I'm
Yes.
getting. And people don't
Yes.
understand that these
Right.
rituals, these that we engage in don't really help. And that the person with OCD is still stuck with whatever the OCD is. And that's the difference between it and say just an
Right.
anxiety. Okay, so what are
Right.
you going to say about your harm OCD and what it does to you?
Well, I was just going to also say, when you were saying about that, it's like you don't trust yourself with the truth. Like, so you don't trust yourself that you lock the door. Like, you don't, because of the way that your brain works.
Yeah,
You don't trust yourself.
that's right.
So, yeah. Yeah.
OCD treatment involves teaching people not to do the reassurance behavior because it's pointless.
Right. Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's a waste of time, and you just spend your whole life reassuring yourself and not living a life.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
you have to do other strategies for dealing with it. And it's just, I
Yes.
think, important for people to understand that. Now,
Yeah.
Harm OCD, how many people would you say have it? It's not that common. OCD is
Yeah.
quite significant in terms of the
Yeah.
number.
It's not that common, I don't think, but I thought for the last 28 years of my life that I was completely alone.
Did you? Right.
And all of a sudden, when I did get my diagnosis, I found out that I wasn't alone. And I found people that I follow on TikTok and who actually openly talk about their harm OCD, intrusive thoughts. And I looked at it and I was like, this is me. Like, this person is me. And then I see other people commenting and say, yes, I that happens to me, yes, that happens to me. And I saw one, even a lady from the UK the other day, explaining how when she walks past the dishwasher and the knives, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, there's people out there like me. And I never expected to know that there was people out there that
And
like me. So yeah.
an important part of your story is that you read Brooke Shields'
Yeah.
book. To me, that's
Yes.
important because
Yes.
then that began that opening those doors to you understanding there was a
Right.
problem and I could ask for help.
Right. that
I,
that was very important for me. for that time. Yes, definitely. And I'm so grateful that did get help then, right? So even
Yeah.
if I wasn't telling everybody the whole truth, at least I was getting myself some medication and some counseling and some help. Yeah.
So the anti-anxiety antidepressants helped. So these
Hmm.
are SSRIs, which are just standard pills
Yeah.
that are given out by doctors now. Nothing special about them.
Right.
They helped. In what way did they help you, Michelle? Do you mind saying?
Yeah, they would just they started just diminishing the thoughts from happening
Right.
so often. So where there would be thoughts happening like once every couple minutes, the thoughts would then spread out one every hour, one every 3 hours, one every, to eventually you could get to the point where you could make it a day with, excuse me, without a thought.
Well, that must have been such a relief for you.
Oh, such a relief, like to get through a day and you'll be like, oh, I made it today and I didn't, so yeah, it definitely helped for sure.
And for you, when you think about those thoughts now, I'm presuming it's not triggering you into too many sort of intrusive thoughts at the moment because you're
No.
going to be careful with yourself.
Yeah.
Um, People do need to learn. We talked about this before the show, so folks should know
Yeah.
that Michelle is looking after herself and she knows her own boundaries and she's very safe with herself.
Mhm.
That's great.
Yes. Yes.
When you think back on those thoughts now, which
Yeah.
were not treated, where do you think they were? How would you understand that they come from in terms of a mental health issue? What's your understanding about why, what they were about? How would you frame that knowledge now?
um I guess maybe I'm still trying to figure it all out. I mean, I wrote my book and I delve into, my history and my past, and definitely mental health was in my family. And so when I was younger, I had an uncle and an aunt with schizophrenia. And we didn't, in those days, it was very popular not to talk about anybody about their feelings, about how they
Yeah.
felt about anything. And so I was always very afraid of my uncle's paranoia and temper. And in a way, I've been figuring this out over the last month, is I created the stereotype as well in my head about
Mhm.
mental health because I never wanted to compare myself with them. Like I didn't, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because everybody else was like in my family was like, oh, it's, they shun like, oh, they're like this and we don't talk about this and whatever. And so I think I always had that in me, like, well, no, like I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be smart, I'm going to be like all these things, so I can't be that. Like I didn't know that the two could possibly coexist. I was like, you're
And
one or
they
the
did
other.
to you, didn't they? You
Yeah.
are and were successful, and you continue to be successful.
Yes.
And yet you are somebody who lives with a long-term illness. So OCD is one of those that are very difficult to treat.
Yeah.
Uh, and people can live with it for the whole of their lives in the same way that people live with schizophrenia for the whole of their lives. But
Right.
just because you have this illness doesn't mean you can't get help and you can't have a good life.
No, exactly. And
With
my psychiatrist said the same thing. He said he would rather treat schizophrenia than treat OCD because he finds OCD actually harder to treat.
Oh,
So
it is
it
definitely.
is hard to treat. So yeah, definitely. I can't remember where we're at.
That's okay. Just take your time. It's what I was saying is even with a long-term chronic severe mental health issue, which OCD is and
Yeah.
as is schizophrenia, you can get help and you can live a good life. And that's the
Right.
thing. And it's really important, I think, because now we think about illness and wellness as coexisting. They're not one or
Yeah.
the other. We are not ill and then well. We're not well, then ill. We
Right.
have elements of, we have aspects of ourselves that are functioning well at any
Right.
one point in time, and aspects of ourselves that are not doing so well at any one point.
Right.
That's the truth of life.